Well, I didn't see this one coming when they got absolutely smashed by Afghanistan in the first match. The team that's got to qualify for the World Cup has just won the Asia Cup. Congratulations to our dearest friends in Sri Lanka. Welcome back to The Great Cricketer, brought to you by ACCO, India's tech-first insurance company. My name is Ian Higgins, and let me tell you, there's a party on this channel today, isn't there, Sam Perry? Because Sri Lanka, clearly the best team in the entire tournament, and possibly the world, have won the game, and the match, and the series, and the trophy.
Mate, as you said, started poorly, and then Bangladesh, Afghanistan, India, Pakistan on the bounce for these young bucks. And it's a win for youth. He goes, this is a young, inexperienced team. We always talk about the right kind of runs, the right kind of losses, the right kind of sex, the right kind of relationship. There's something special about young people coming to the fore, bringing some of that vitality and energy. And
young people coming.
And young people coming to the fore.
To the fore.
Yeah. And they did it with that kind of spirit overnight, he goes. And look, let's get into the game. As I always say, when you play at Dubai, you got to bat first. You have to bat first. Especially in a final. It's a bat first wicket. I've always said it. You got to get those runs on the board. How you get them doesn't matter, as Sri Lanka showed. But as long as you get those runs on the board, the wicket tends to help you out, etc. So Pakistan won the toss here, he goes, and they did what you're meant to do. When they won the toss, that was one leg. That was one leg on the cup. That was one leg on old Big Ears. Don't even know what it looks like. Didn't even know this existed a few months ago, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. But
one leg on the cup.
One leg on the cup, straddling it. And my child's arrived. Barney, I'm just recording. I know you want to celebrate Sri Lanka winning, but I'd prefer. It's like that BBC thing. Can you? Let's keep going.
Much like Sri Lanka's innings, they just needed to crack on.
You could have got to look under the hood there. I'm like Prince Charles here, going, get this child out. Anyway, and I'll tell you what, Pakistan were rocking and rolling at the start, he goes, weren't they? I got for the first thing. Sri Lanka was under the cosh. Nazim in-swing deluxe, wheels for days. There was a brief exhibition of cover driving from Sri Lankan players, but really, then Haris Rauf came to the party. It's 36 for 3. So Rauf was smashing stumps everywhere, hooping at a mile. It gets to 58 for 5. Yeah. The commentators are saying, why would you do that, Shanaka? The captain, it was looking like a Pakistan party. And they must have been feeling good.
Mate, at that point, that was 2 legs on the trophy. And then one hand in it. Yeah. At that point, Pakistan was sitting on top of the DP World Asia Cup, and they were fucking grinding on that thing.
That's right. There was no doubt. They were lap dancing. the cup.
Yep, they'll lap dance in the cup.
Lap dance in the cup at 58 for 5.
Mate, what about our dear, close personal friend of the show, Haris Rauf? He was fucking so good in this game. And he can hold his head held up very high when he's dressing the team and dressing them down. Dressing them and dressing them down.
Himself.
And dressing himself when he's talking to himself in the mirror, as he likes to do, as we know. He had Rajapaksa. First ball, LBW went for a review, gets an umpire's call. Look, difficult to say if that changed the game. Rajapaksa then saves the game, hitting 71 on 45. But I thought Haris Rauf was just fucking unbelievable in this game, and just that fire and the energy. There's a look in the eyes, the hair's looking good. The Pakistan shirt's just fitting just so across the shoulders, which is what we like to see. It's snug. It's a snug fit on the bicep. Yeah. Anyway, the point being 58 for 5, he's charging in. He probably had Rajapaksa first one, might have won the tournament then. Didn't. Then Pakistan couldn't catch. But I guess we should actually focus on Sri Lanka's innings, them being absolutely sensational with a blade from there. I thought when Hasaranga came in batting at 7 with a cap, backward cutting Shadab, there's a bit of ponting in that, I thought.
Oh, mate, it came out with you noticed the same thing as me. Like, it came out with a cap, coloured shoes. Like, he looked like he's having a net on Sunday with his mates.
Yeah.
Don't you know you're in an Asia Cup final and you're trying to escape Pakistan straddling that cup? You know, Hasaranga, as I call you by your last name, like Roy Keane did to Ronaldo. Good to see you, Ronaldo. And yeah, like Raja. So, but he was ice cool. Hasaranga, he's their star, right? And then Rajapaksa and Hasaranga put on a partnership just to correct things for Sri Lanka before Ralph got Hasaranga. But they brought it back a little bit, Sri Lanka. And then I just thought, and so it's a story of a rescue effort. And then you get the Pakistan moment. He goes, well, there was two moments really.
Which one?
I can't even remember. Well, exactly. I can't remember who it was from Sri Lanka who just booged the ball high into the night sky. But it happened twice. It kind of like, it went so high, like it went comically high, like it was coming down from the cosmos, like the way you would at training, where you just want to see how high you can hit it in the air. Can I hit this onto the roof?
Fucking around.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Can I take these catches? Or you do it with a tennis ball or something, just to watch people humiliate themselves, getting dizzy out of the ball. It's so high, they middle it into the sky. You think, well, actually, it's really hard to catch. Yeah. But Shadab Khan's involved in both. He's probably Pakistan's best fielder, and he's He drops the first one. Okay, no worries. And then the second one, he drops, smashing into another Pakistan player and parries it for 6.
Throws it over the rope.
To the point where it would be harder to parry that ball for 6 than to catch it. You know, someone said, all right, take this and actually just tip this over the bar.
Yeah. I mean, if they had an option between these two things, that happening, or them literally both standing and watching it hit the ground, but then stop it with their foot, you choose the second one. That's how fucking comical it was, because it's fucking would have saved 4 runs in the end.
And you start to think, is it turning? Mother Cricket had a look at Pakistan, Afghanistan, and went, "You had your turn, Pakistan. We gave you your turn, and we thank them for it."
You had a slice of luck. Yeah.
And now it's time for Sri Lanka. And anyway, Rajapaksa is still just booging them. They end up 170, which you'd think at the start of the game is like, well, that's a good total. That's good, not great. But 107, this is the thing with cricket, 170 from 5 for 50 is basically 300, mentally speaking.
Yeah.
Because as you walk off the field, you're just thinking, if you're Pakistan, you're just thinking that we have let that get away deluxe. 5 for 50. Yeah. And if you're Sri Lanka, everyone is just yipping and yahooing. 10 overs earlier, you're in the grave. You're 1 foot in the grave. It's always 1 foot, 1 leg in the grave. People starting to bury you. And then you've escaped, like that clip of Snoop Dogg commentating a gecko escaping snakes in the US. I don't know if you've seen that.
Sensational stuff.
It's really good. Check it out. Yeah. I'm sure a couple of search terms will get you there. And so it's 170 on the board, and we get into the third thing. He goes, Pakistan listless, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they were so listless. You probably have something on this. But they were so listless that Sri Lanka gave him 10 before starting, 9 before starting. Here you go, have 9.
That was an apology first over. Just like, sorry, okay. At the end of our batting innings, things got a little bit out of hand there. Let's give some parity. Let's give something back to the game and to Pakistan. Let's chase 160 instead off your 20 overs, okay?
Yeah.
And then about like 15 minutes later, the rate is at 14s. When fucking De Silva gets an over, goes for 4, and it's like,
well,
what the fuck just happened?
Rizwan's having a centre wicket as he does, and
time in the middle.
But it was a Madhushanka. It was a nightmare of wides, and you think, oh no. But then as you say, all of a sudden you're at 14. It's like, okay, well, this is over, right? Pakistan couldn't get near them. Really, it was just. It wasn't on at any point, and then Sri Lanka just fielding just fielding brilliantly.
Yeah,
everyone's bowling well, inspired captaincy, bowling changes, etc. And the young Bucks take it out.
There was something about Babar Azam's wicket which I thought it sums up his tournament generally. He's had no runs, but. Like there was a ball from Madhushan which was going to be a wide, and it goes wide down leg side. He plays a fucking great shot actually. He nails it. He goes straight to Madhushanka, who's filling in the ring at fine leg, who takes a fucking really good catch. But then it was like, okay, that would have been a wide as well, or it's going to go for 4, and instead Babar Azam middles it straight to. He's extremely unlucky in that moment. But there was just something about that as well. It's like and then next ball. Fucker Zaman then chops one on from like wide out sort of stump, and it's like 2-2 all of a sudden. It's like, oh my God, come on. And then Pakistan's Indians, they lose 5 for 20 or 5 for 15, 18, one of those numbers in between there. And the game is well and truly over with about 3 overs left, and then they somehow only lose by 23. But this was a pumping. I mean,
it was a pumping.
They lost the game with about 70 runs in hand. They somehow got it to 23 in the end. Because I think Sri Lanka, by that stage, had left the ground and were on the beach. But some of their fielding, Sri Lanka, was absolutely sensational. In terms of like full value of the game, we like to talk about value, Pez. Because it's not just important about winning it, you also have to be full value for it. These two performances put up by these two teams were so disparate that there was absolutely no question that Sri Lanka fully deserved this win. They captained better. They fielded significantly better. They executed their 20 overs with the bat better. They were losing the game significantly at this point, at certain points in the game, but then absolutely smashed Pakistan. So for me, I'm happy with that result. Cheers.
Hashtag RCDC, thanks to Acco. Arya Yogesh writes in, boys. And I thought we'd just finish on this note.
Sure. Yeah, I like this one.
This is all completely relevant to the Asia Cup. Boys. Last season, there was a batting collapse, as they occur naturally, and I nicked off early. When I was sitting back in the shed, pissed off and on the verge of tears, one of my mates, a redhead, turns to me and asks whether he should swap the water of the boy who just went out to have a stick with toilet water in his bottle. I, obviously in the grieving state of getting nicked off and wanting everyone on earth to die a horrible death, said, sure, mate, whatever. Kid got back from his short stand at the crease, sat down, absolutely hopeless to continue, and took a sip of the water. I was already feeling a lot better that I'd stayed in what his life had become. I stayed in longer than him, sorry. When it was revealed what substance he had just digested, he simply slouched in disbelief of what his life had become and took another sip of water regardless. I found myself in a bubbly state of alpha, which quickly turned into reflective guilt. Thoughts about his reaction to drinking piss water? And do you think I am guilty to have indirectly allowed this to happen, or may I be forgiven due to my mental state when making that decision?
I want people to let us know in the comments, how old do you think that commenter is? Would you say 11? Maybe 12? Are you looking at teens? Are you looking at low teens? I mean, let's be clear, first of all, none of that happened. That was a complete fabrication of someone's insane mind, where they have for some reason got some fixation with drinking urine. And wouldn't that be funny if I did that to someone? Let's throw some cricket around that. But I just want to sort of let people know that I've got a few sort of funny anecdotes in my head that didn't happen. But I also like to light buildings on fire. I'm a bit of a pyro. I've got a troubled relationship with neighborhood cats. And I've got a fractious relationship with my father. Sri Lanka won the Asia Cup.